Good afternoon, Reds all around the world. How are we? Good to be back on the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. I hope you enjoyed our day out in Toxteth yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go to the Instagram and watch the reel that we created around the launch of Trent's new Predator boots. I was about to say Treb. But yeah, really good day down in Toxteth. Super community at the Tiber Football Centre. There was thousands of kids there waiting to see Trent. So amazing day. Having said that, go and like this video. Please comment with your lineup predictions, your thoughts before the game. And the question that I'm asking you is this possible? Tomorrow night, we go to Atalanta in the second leg of the Europa League quarter-final, 3-0 down from the first leg at Anfield. I still can't even wrap my head around being 3-0 down in the first leg of European quarter-final. But there we go. That's the situation we find ourselves in. But the main question is, can we turn it around? Will we wake up on Friday morning in the semi-finals of the Europa League? Look, it's extremely difficult to go anywhere away and not concede and score 4 goals, right? I know that. But I'm going to give us a 10% chance. Let me know in the comments right now. I'm going 10, double figures. 10% chance that we get through tomorrow night. Again, I want to see your percentages in the chat. Let me know if you are confident, if you are, telling us to go for it. If you're thinking this is all over, I need to know in the chat. A little bit of good news, I guess, is that in between the first leg, Atalanta played at home in the Serie A against Verona. Now, I can't lie. Scamacca and Ederson, they scored after 13 and 18 minutes, respectively. They were 2-0 up. But there was a 2-2 draw in the end. It was Lazovic and Noslin with the goals. They scored 2 in 4 minutes to actually draw the game. Now, of course, that isn't good enough. We can't go there and do that, right? We can see other teams can go there and score 2 goals in quick succession. And I guess on the outlook, you would say, well, listen, they can be got at. And we know that because we've been there and won 5-0 when there was no fans in the stadium. But we know that they can be got at. But I can't lie. Yes, Liverpool fans will take encouragement from seeing this victory. For Verona, I'm going to call it a victory because they were 2-0 down and they came back to draw the game 2-2. It's a draw. But the fact that Atalanta started the game really well, 13 and 18 minutes, they were 2-0 up through Scamacca, who scored 2 at Anfield, and Ederson. That scares me. Now, if that happens tomorrow night, it goes from 10% to minus 10% because there's no way we can concede, in my opinion, in this game tomorrow night. However, obviously, you can take a little bit of sympathy from the Verona fight back to actually draw the game. But again, that won't be good enough for us to go and do. So Atalanta versus Liverpool, as we know, we've only played them in history 3 times. I think the average score between the two teams now is 5-5, right? Because we went there and won 5-0. We lost 2-0 at home and we lost 3-0 at home. So it's going to be very, very difficult. A couple of stats for you. In the UEFA Cup / Europa League history, there have been 132, I'll say that again, 132 previous instances of the away side winning the first leg of a 2-legged knockout by 3+ goals. And this is the bit you don't want to hear. Really don't want to hear this. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Zero of those ties were overturned in the second leg. So we know what it is. These historic facts are made to be broken. Records are made to be broken. But Atalanta are looking to win both legs of a 2-legged tie in the Europa League for the first time since the 2022 last 16 against Bayer Leverkusen. Don't forget that. And I don't think Xabi Alonso was there. I think he arrived in 22-23. But meanwhile, Liverpool could lose both legs of a 2-legged Europa League / UEFA Cup knockout tie for the first time since 1998-99 in the last 16 against Celta Vigo, a team that has just relinquished Rafa Benitez of his managerial duties. A good team back in the late 90s in the La Liga. But I remember they played us off the park that night. And Atalanta's only home win, all right, this is, again, a little bit encouraging. Atalanta's only home win against English opposition was Everton in September. Of course it was, all right? Of course it was Everton. September 2017, they won 3-0, whilst their only such defeat came at the hands of Liverpool. and that was a 5-0 win in November 2020, which I've already spoken about. They've drawn their other 2 home games against English sides, but Liverpool have won 3 of the last 4 away games against Italian sides in all comps, as many as they had in their first 14 visits. However, the last visit to an Italian team away in European competition, and this was a horrendous night for Liverpool. If you remember it, we lost 4-1 to Napoli. Artemelo played, I think, 13 minutes. That was his whole Liverpool career. And Atalanta have only lost one of their 16 home games in the UEFA Cup/Europa League, going down 2-0 to RB Leipzig in the quarter-final, second leg in 2022. So some stats there give us a little bit, an ounce, 10% maybe, chance of hope and winning the game. But I can't lie, there's a lot of stats there that don't read well if you're a Liverpool fan going into this game. We have just heard from the Atalanta manager. He's done his press conference this morning. And I'll be totally honest with you. Maybe this is me being naive. Maybe this is a lack of Serie A knowledge. But he's bigging himself up, old Gasperini. He says, of course I am happy with links to replace Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. But I focus on this game. We can't be distracted by these kinds of links or stories. We have to focus on the upcoming games. Now, I go back to my naivety. I'll be super honest. Super honest. I'd never heard of him before he came to Anfield. I don't really keep an eye out for Atalanta scores. Obviously, I look at the Serie A table now and again, see Inter doing really well. Milan are up there. Obviously, Napoli have fallen off a little bit this season, Juventus. And when it comes to Atalanta, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about Gasperini. But for him to... and I'll say this, I've not heard of any links. I've not heard. Have you? Because I've not heard of any links of Gasperini coming to replace Klopp at Liverpool. I haven't. But obviously, you know how it is in press conferences. Maybe he's not come out and said it. I'd need to watch the whole thing to gather enough context. Maybe he's not just blurted that out. But maybe someone has asked him the question, would you consider, replacing Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, or are you happy with the links? And he said, I'm happy with the links to replace Klopp, right? But my focus is on this game. Now, for me personally, if we've never heard, and again, this is just me speaking, you guys at home might be a bit more clued up when it comes to Serie A managers or just managers in general that are here to replace Klopp. But I can't have that. I can't have a manager replace Klopp who I've never heard of apart from maybe a week ago. And that's no respect to him. I'm sure he's got a very successful managerial career. But if I've never heard of you, then surely you can't be being linked to the Liverpool job, which is a massive job. And if I'm really being frank, it's I don't know how many times bigger it is a job than the Atalanta one, but no, not for me personally. And that was 20 minutes ago that we had those quotes coming in. So let's get into the injury news. As we know, big blow, really a big blow for Conor Bradley, who rolled his ankle, looks to be out for at least 3 weeks, which will probably be his last moment in a red shirt for Liverpool this season. Potentially, well, it will be. It will be his last game under Jurgen Klopp at Anfield. So as we know, he won't be around. Bajcetic is also a doubt. We know Thiago, Matip and Doak are also injured, which leaves us with a fairly strong squad going into this game. Now, I'm going to go with my predicted 11 right now. Match me in the comments. Tell me I'm right. Tell me I'm wrong, and give me your options to start this game tomorrow night. But I'll go Alisson in goal. I will go Alisson in goal. Massive European tie. We need him. Not to say that Kelleher has deserved to lose his place, but I just think Alisson comes straight back in. Having said that, he comes back in for his first Premier League game and we lose it. So Kelleher misses out slightly. Obviously, was in goal for the first leg, but I will go for Alisson. And listen, he was in Toxteth yesterday. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold, the Scouser in our team. I'm going for him to start at right back. He actually turned up to the Adidas event yesterday in Toxteth around about 7:30, which I thought was a little bit late, considering that Liverpool will be flying to Atalanta today if they haven't already. So it would have been better for him to show up a bit earlier to get that full rest. But I will go with Trent at right back with Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. Now, how many times this season have we seen a back five? And please let me know in the chat, because I don't know, of Alisson, Trent, Virgil, Konate and Robbo. How many times have we actually had that back five going into a game this season? That's why I'm giving us the strongest possible lineup tomorrow to give us the best chance. In midfield, now, this is where there's going to be a few questions. Obviously, Endo has had an incredible season. One of our top 5 players without question. The amount of times I've bigged him up has been countless, to be honest. But even with the poor performance against Atalanta, the poor, horrific performance at home to Crystal Palace, and it wasn't just him. Even with all that said, I am starting him tomorrow night with McAllister, and I will personally go for Harvey Elliott. Now, there is an argument to say, oh, well, why are we playing 3 in midfield when we need 4 goals to actually go through in the tie? So there's an argument to say, play Endo and McAllister in a 2, and then you can obviously have 4 forwards in those attacking positions. Me personally, I'm going to go for a 3 in midfield of McAllister, Endo, and Elliott. And then up front, again, some questions. Will Nunez start? Will Jota come back in? Don't forget, he was the man that scored a hat-trick at Atalanta the last time we went there in 2020. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I am gonna go Jota through the middle with Salah and Diaz on the left. Now that means that on the bench, going by my lineup prediction, on the bench you'll have Szoboszlai, Nunez, Gakpo. You'll also have Curtis Jones, who obviously played in the last game, Mr. Sitter, as we know, which I'm still having sleepless nights about. But that will be my personal predicted 11 for tomorrow night. Please let me know if you agree or not. I'll go Alisson just to round it off again. Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo. In the midfield, I'll go Endo, McAllister, and Harvey Elliott. And then I'll go Mo Salah, who again, there's question marks for him to be dropped after his lack of clinicalness in the last couple of weeks. But I will stick with Salah. Jota, who I'm hoping returns to the old Jota. I know he had a couple of chances at the end against Atalanta, won a free kick with his first involvement. But those 2 headers at the end of that game, that really, really could have put us in a better position. And it's not just him. It's Nunez missing. It's Salah missing. It's the rest that missed chances last Thursday night. So I will go Salah, Jota, and Diaz up front. And again, that bench is stacked to come on and change the game should we need it. I guess this is the main bit that you've come here for. It's my prediction, the score prediction now. If I'm honest, like I said, I can't really say that I think we're going to go through after only giving us a 10% chance. So again, and I hope this is reverse psychology. I hope it's the other way around. I hope I'm proved wrong. But I think Liverpool win this game, but I think we win it 3-1. Which obviously means that we wouldn't go through to the next round, which crushes all of our dreams of going to Dublin. I mean, no fault of their own, but I know a lot of Reds throughout the season, I'll be honest, as soon as Dublin was announced and we saw the other teams in the competition, maybe it was naive of us. A lot of people have booked hotels and flights and trains and ferries to Dublin for the final. If we don't go through tomorrow night, all of those are going to have to be cancelled or refunded. I'm not too sure if you can even get your money back or changed. So I'll go for Liverpool to win 3-1, which, if I'm honest, won't be good enough. And if I'm honest, the first tie wasn't good enough. If we don't go through tomorrow night, obviously the first tie plays a massive hand in that. But just like a clean sheet, I know I've said 3-1, but if we can get to 3-0 and go to extra time and penalties, then obviously I do back Liverpool to go through. But over 90 minutes, at the minute, I'm looking straight down the camera, and this is not having a go maybe. It's just more disappointment that we haven't kept any clean sheets for a long time, I'll be honest. Now, obviously, if they score 1, we're going to have to go over there and score 5 to go through, which we've done in the past. But again, a lot of context around that. There was no fans in the stadium. This is easily Atalanta's biggest game for a long time, many years, if I'm honest. But I take pride from the fact that we went to Sparta Prague, who, again, similar size stadium to Atalanta, around 19,000, similar kind of atmosphere. Obviously, their fans are going to be well up for this as well. And this is their biggest game in many years, right? But I'd like us to go there like we did in Prague and just score. We're going to have chances. We're going to have 15 to 20 shots like we do in every single game, home or away. We're going to have 15 to 20 shots. Out of those 15 to 20, let's say 7 or 8 of them are on target. But this is the key for me. Out of those 7 shots or 8 shots, and again, I'm just going through kind of previous stats of our last few away games at United, where we had 16 shots in the first half alone. I just want to see at least 4 or 5 go in, right? We've got to be more clinical. There's no need for me to say it. We all know it. We have to be clinical, but we have to be clinical with defending as well. Each time they come forward tomorrow night with their fans behind them, with the fact that they are 3-0 up, and they were celebrating very, very much at Anfield as if they'd won the tie. But we have to almost be clinical in defence tomorrow night as well. We have to take pride in coming away from a European tie with a clean sheet. So it's a balance of not conceding, but scoring as many goals as possible. Now, Liverpool have done it in the past. You look at the Barcelona tie. The only difference is, obviously, we played the second leg at Anfield, which we won't have the luxury of tomorrow night. But there's a 10% chance that Liverpool can turn this around. Again, let me know in the comments. Am I crazy for even giving us double figures? What do you think? Is it over? Is it possible to even go there and win and get a clean sheet and then go through to the next round? Where if we do get through to the next round, it's either Marseille or Benfica. Benfica, we played them a lot in the Champions League. It was 2 years ago when Darwin Núñez came to Anfield as a Benfica player. And I left that game after drawing the tie 3-3. Obviously, we went through and went to the final. But I said that is one of the best number 9 performances I've ever seen from an away player at Anfield. And it was Benfica. So even if we do get through, Marseille, killing it at the minute with Aubameyang up front. Benfica, they've got some incredible players that will probably go on for a lot of money in the summer and leave. So really tough to call. You know me, I always back the team. I'll always predict for Liverpool to win no matter who we play against, maybe unless it's a City away or something like that. But there's so much on the line. And if we can turn this around, I think it goes right up there with the Dortmund, the Barcelona tie as well, in terms of turning ties around. But it's going to be so difficult. I think Liverpool have 720 fans flying out today and tomorrow morning to go to Bergamo, to go to the stadium, to back the boys. And I'm sitting here knowing that it's very unlikely, really unlikely that we're going to go through. But I'm sitting here giving all my support. You must do at home as well. And as tomorrow, 8 o'clock, we will hear that whistle go, and we will be 90 minutes away from maybe ending Jurgen Klopp's European round of history at Liverpool. It could be his last ever European game. Let's hope it's not. Let's do our best on the pitch to hope it's not and pray it's not. And there you go. That's your match preview. I mean, I wanted to be more energetic. I wanted to be more positive. And again, Mario said that the tie is not over, and I love him for how positive he is. I'm just trying to be realistic. But again, this is a free open space for you guys in the chat to say, AGT, lift your head up. Or you could say you're being too positive. 10%, there's way less chance of us going through than 10%. So again, I can only give you what I think. I can put a lineup prediction together. I can tell you what the score is going to be. But really, the stars of the show in every video are you in the comments. So please let us know what you think in the chat. Will Liverpool go through tomorrow night somehow? Or will this be Jurgen Klopp's last European game for Liverpool? We hope it isn't. And we hope he sees us out by lifting that trophy in Dublin. But guys, there's such a difficult job in front of us tomorrow night. We have to go there. And we have to win convincingly, and we can't concede any goals, in my opinion. So there you go. I've done the lineup prediction. The score prediction is 3-1, which does mean Liverpool go out. But tell me I'm wrong. Go on, I dare you. In the chat, make sure you smash that like button, comment. Don't forget, Friday, we'll be going back into previews for the Premier League. I've got Jack Collins back on the show on Friday morning. Really intrigued to see what he thinks. Fulham's chances of really finishing off. I reckon if we don't win on Sunday against Fulham, then I really will say it is over in terms of the Premier League. But he is an absolute football nut, and he knows a lot about Ruben Amorim as well. So there's a potential that we could get a video out of him, when he's talking about how much he knows of Ruben Amorim and how much he could potentially suit Liverpool. So there's your lot from me. We'll be back on Thursday, obviously, with an instant match reaction. Back on Friday. And then, of course, we'll be in and around for the Fulham game next week. And then the week after that, it's Everton at Gravity Max. We'll be watching the game there. And then that Sunday, we go away to West Ham, a game that I will be at as well. So, guys, loads to come on the Kop TV. So make sure you smash that like button, comment, subscribe, up the Reds, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And we'll see what kind of mood we're in on Friday for that match preview as well. So, guys, take care. All the best. Up the Reds. Vamos. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you check out the rest of the channel too. There's other stuff you'll enjoy for sure.
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous dads.
Come on.